Hey there, YouTube. How's it going? It's that time again. Time for another weekly prediction for the Hawk game. This week, the Hawks are going to travel down to Houston to take on the Texans. Now, the Texans are a pretty damn good football team. They do have one of the best defensive players in J.J. Watt. It's going to be pretty difficult containing him, especially since it looks like we will be down three starters on our offensive line. But this is the kind of situation that Pete has prepared for in a sense. We are one of the only teams where our backups are capable to step up and play just like a starter. And with Wade Phillips as the defensive coordinator for Houston, there's going to be plenty of chances for them to prove themselves since he likes to blitz at any time from any angle as well. My first matchup for this game is going to be just like I said, Seahawks O-line versus the Texans defense. 2 weeks ago, when Okung went out and Paul McQuiston slid over to left tackle from left guard, he did a pretty admirable job, uh, you know, considering he was up against Alden Smith, who is a pretty darn good pass rusher himself. Sure, he got burned once or twice, but it's going to take anyone a little bit to get comfortable, especially when they, slide over from one position to the next in the middle of the game. But then after halftime, he pretty much shut down Alden Smith completely. He did what great players do during games. He made the proper adjustments. My second matchup is going to be the Hawks offense versus the 10 a.m. start time. Last time we started at 10 o'clock in the morning was when we kicked off the season in Carolina. Now we did win that game 12-7, but even I have to admit we didn't force and recover that fumble in the fourth quarter where they were threatening to score. We very much could have had a loss to start the year. If we are going to win Sunday, we do have to get off to a good start, preferably like we did last week against Jacksonville, within the first few drives. Now the Texans defense does give up quite a few points. They do average about 27 points against them, while the Hawks are scoring 29 points against a team each game. Now I do like those odds very much. They say the Texans defense is ranked number 2, right behind ours, but I do know that if you are giving up that many points a game, you're going to have a tough time winning in the NFL. Case in point, pretty much last week. They gave up 30 points to the Ravens and only scored 9 points. Didn't even get a touchdown on offense. And that was against, the Ravens team whose defense is not quite as good as the Hawks defense. My third and final matchup is going to be pretty much like a game time decision. Andre Johnson, that's if he does play, versus the Hawks corner. So far this year, we have shut down every wide receiver pretty much. Steve Smith didn't get more than about 50 or 60 yards, but he did have a touchdown catch. Bolden only had one catch for about 7 yards after the monster week he had against Green Bay. Jacksonville did have Cecil Shorts break out for like a 143-yard game, but pretty much 100 of those yards came when our second string was playing. Highly doubtful that our starters are going to be, taken out 300, through the third quarter. Also, I'd say look for Marshawn Lynch to finally break the 100-yard mark. It's been about 3 weeks already, and him really running over the defense of the opposing team is going to play a huge factor in us getting the win on Sunday. Anyways, that's my pregame analysis. I think this game will be one of the closest, if not the closest, games that we play this year. It's going to be a nail-biter from beginning to end. We say the Hawks win this one 24-17. Oh, and one more thing. I believe Russell Wilson will throw for over 300 yards, just like he did against Carolina. They go to 4-0, continue their quest for the perfect season. Anyways, like, subscribe, comment, do whatever. I'll see you next week, YouTube.